that's the juice, well, then it's going down the right place. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. You stumbled upon another episode of Coffee and Contemplation. Cheers. That's right, I'm your host, Old Heart. I'm here to talk to you about shit you probably didn't know the day before, because I didn't know it the day before, which means that, well, it's assuming that I'm smarter than you, but really that's not the view that I take on this show. I'm not smarter than you. You're probably smarter than me, especially if you accidentally stumbled upon this podcast, like I said, because nobody's actually intentionally listening to me. I understand that, and that's fine. That's why I just try to relay things to other people, just in case they listen. You know, good tidbits, I guess. But stop leaving tidbits in the wrong places. Use them to ripen up your coconut, or don't use them at all. Thank you. Cheers all around. Although rest in peace goes out to one woman, Rose Marie Bentley. I just found an article that was titled, How a Woman in Oregon Lived to 99 with Organs in All the Wrong Places. Yes, I was intrigued as well. So, that being said, rest in peace to Rose. She sounded like she lived a long, awesome life, which is fucking cool. Everybody should. Anyway, apparently Rose was never diagnosed, but she lived with a congenital condition called situs inversus, which basically reverses your fucking organs. It's like one of the most intense things I've ever heard. But this article says not any of her 5 children, 14 grandchildren, 31 great-grandchildren, and 11 great-great-grandchildren knew anything about her having reversed organs. The chance, like, presumably she knew, but that was about it sounds like. Once they mentioned in the article, once a doctor had difficulty finding her appendix, apparently. And so she donated, just to mention, she donated her body to science, right? Which is cool. Everybody should think about doing it, because, you know, science, right? Or just throw it in a dumpster like Frank Reynolds. Either way. So, her stomach was on the right, not the left. Her liver was on the left, not the right. Everything was all turned around and backwards. And they found out because a bunch of students were dissecting the body, and they opened it up and found, whoop, there it is. Everything's on the wrong side. And like I said, that is a congenital condition called situs inversus, in which the visceral organs are reversed or mirrored from the normal positions. The normal arrangement of internal organs is known as situs solitus. God, this Latin stuff. Either way, so it's backwards organs. You got backwards organs. I guess it's funny, yeah. Backwards organs, it's like a cartoonish kind of thing, I suppose. But anyway, neither here nor there. We're not talking about Looney Tunes and shit. Stop laughing. Whatever. Okay, so we're talking about having backwards organs. Her heart was in the right place, apparently, but the matriarch of this family lived till she was 99 years old, which most of you listening to me probably won't. I don't know if I will. I guarantee you I probably won't, actually. But that's not what we're talking about either. She lived to 99 with bass-fucking-ackwards organs. That's crazy. Most people don't make it past childhood. The longest living person until Rose was 75 or something like that. So she almost outlived her by 25 years, which is crazy. It's crazy awesome. I think what's really cool about this story is this lady doesn't even sound like she lived a boring life. Like, she had backwards organs in her, and she probably lived a more exciting life than you or I. And I'm not putting that out on you. I'm not really putting it on me either. I'm just saying. What are you gonna do with your organs in the proper place? dogs and dogs all over. Dogs and dogs all over. What the fuck am I talking about? I need some more coffee. Also, something I need to point out. I've given up on not cursing on this show. Why? Because it's my goddamn show. I'll say what I want on it, and if you don't want to listen to it, tune your little ears out, like everybody else currently not listening. And I'm talking to you, the one person listening, probably a friend of mine. I don't know who you are. Who are you? I'm just joking. Okay, so, well, I'm not just joking. Am I? You'll never know. I like to play that weird, you never know if I'm being sarcastic or not. Very dry shit. Shout out. Shout out to Phil Collins, shout out to Jamie B. Jammin, shout out to Yellow T, shout out to Uncaged, shout out to Casserole, shout out to Olive My Wood, shout out to Mooner Sick, shout out to Harrison Hannon, shout out to Stray Dog, and shout out to Evil L. Always. Love y'all. Y'all are cool. Peace and love and chicken grease and all that shit, right? I guess, you know. What am I? I'm 30. I'm 30, sitting here recording a podcast about somebody 99 years old, living with her liver out of place. And I'm sitting here worried about getting my in-place liver back to place. Holy crap, inception on stuff. Signs and symptoms of situs inversus. In the absence of congenital heart defects, individuals with said inversus are phenotypically normal and can live normally healthy lives without any complications related to medical condition. There is a 5 to 10% prevalence of congenital heart disease in individuals with situs inversus totalis. Most commonly, transposition of the great vessels. Excuse me. The incidence of congenital heart disease is 95% in situs inversus. Okay, so congenital heart disease seems prominent, I think. Many people with situs inversus totalis are unaware of their unusual anatomy until they seek medical attention for unrelated conditions, such as like a rib fracture or a bout of appendicitis. Shout out to Rose Bentley. The condition may also be discovered during the administration of certain medicines or during tests such as a barium meal or enema. Hey, you like those enemas, see if you're, do yourself a favor and see if all your organs are in place at the same time. The reversal of the... Have you seen that? I mean, this may be old news, but is that lady still doing coffee enemas online? That shit was fucking crazy. Like, hey, shout out to coffee. I will say this. It's good for a lot of things. It has antioxidants in it. It's actually good for your liver. Shout out to my liver. And I just don't think it's meant, though, to put up your butthole. So, you know, just throwing that out there. The reversal of the organs may then lead to some confusion, as many signs and symptoms will be on the atypical side. For example, if an individual with situs inversus develops appendicitis, they will present to the physician with lower left abdominal pain, since it is where the appendix lies. Thus, in the event of a medical problem, the knowledge that the individual has reversed fucking organs can expedite diagnosis. Derp. But that's the thing. And I mean, I'm not the only one that experiences confusion when you go into a doctor's office with pain. I just want them to believe me, but it seems to be very hard to I don't know, portray that sometimes. Especially when I finally get a fucking appointment. I know. But, anyway, we're not talking about me, we're talking about reversed organs. People with this rare condition should inform their doctors before an examination, pending so the doctor can then redirect their search to heart sounds and other signs. Wearing a medical identification tag can help inform healthcare providers in the event of the person being unable to communicate. Like that one time I went into a bar and pretended to have a seizure and fell on the floor and scared a fuckload of people. Yeah, I was a punk-ass kid. It was terrible, and it happened. As soon as they started talking about calling the ambulance, I got up and ran out of the joint. Situs inversus is generally an autosomal recessive genetic condition, although it can be X-linked or found in identical mirror image twins. Ooh, Mirror image twins. Sounds like a sinister thing. I wouldn't trust a mirror image twin. I'm just throwing that out there. About 25% of individuals with situs inversus have an underlying condition known as primary ciliary dyskinesia, aka PCD. PCD is easier to say and is a dysfunction of the cilia that manifests itself during the embryologic phase of development. So like when you're brewing, basically, you know? I love how simple I make this for you people. Normally functioning cilia determine the position of the internal organs during early embryological development, like I said, you know, brewing in that keg. I don't like the idea of like a bun in the oven. I like the idea of like beer in a keg. I don't know why. Or like, you know, like a good whiskey in a casket. Like, you know, like a nice wooden barrel just setting, getting ready. We're not talking about that shit. The effects on anatomy. The condition affects all major structures within the thorax and abdomen. Generally, the organs are simply transposed through the sagittal plane, or sagittal if you like that soft G. The heart is located on the right side of the thorax, the stomach and the spleen on the right side of the abdomen, and the liver and gallbladder on the left side. The heart's normal right atrium occurs on the left and the left atrium is on the right. The lung anatomy is reversed and the left lung has 3 lobes while the right lung has 2 lobes. The intestines and other internal structures are also reversed from the normal, and the blood vessels, nerves, and lymphatics are all transposed. If the heart is swapped to the right side of the thorax, it is known as the situs inversus with dextrocardia, or situs inversus totalis. If the heart remains on the normal left side of the thorax, a much rarer condition, it is known as the situs inversus with levocardia. Interesting. Either way, like I said, rest in peace to Miss Rose Bentley. Shout out to your family. I hope they're doing well. This has been another episode of Coffee and Contemplation. That's right. I know you didn't mean to actually listen to the podcast, but you did listen to the podcast. So if you liked the podcast, you know, pass it along maybe. Maybe do that. Maybe do me a favor on that front. I'm not asking for anything. I'm just saying. Tell other people to check it out sometime. Either way, I really hope you go out there and use your brain for good. Every day is a great day to ripen up that coconut, which is what we just tried to do here. You know, learn something you didn't know the day before. I appreciate y'all. I hope you have a good day. Like I said, use your brain for good. Keep your stick on the ice.